welcome back to Downtime Activities, and welcome back to our Devils of the West game. Last time, after a pretty brutal ambush combat with some bounty hunters after some stranger named Deadshot Dell, the group moved on to find a soon, hopefully, to be new associate. You're moving to see Lizard, I believe, who was in Pennsylvania. He was in Alton, Pennsylvania.
I keep wanting to say Cincinnati for some reason.
Cincinnati, because it's a fun word to say.
Well, Cincinnati is probably where Scratch hangs out. Anyway, terrible joke. Upon arriving outside of Alton, you were confronted by a group of northern soldiers who seem to be kind of covering their faces with scarves and that kind of masks of different sorts, saying that the city is under quarantine, that there is an outbreak of some sort of plague going on in the city, and that no one is allowed in or out. And that's where we left off last time.
What are the symptoms?
Says
you drop fucking dead.
He said the guy up there, he's got this but it's terrible stuff. People grow extra teeth and their mouths and throats just grow and misshape. It's horrible to see, and we're not sure what's causing it yet. That's why everyone has to keep their distance.
Demons, probably.
I don't know. If there was a disease that made you grow more teeth on the outside,
The doctors are calling it denticulosis.
What a dumb name. Professor Bogus says out loud, trying to be like quiet.
He's like, I didn't name it.
When did all this start?
It's been going for about a week now that the city's been at different levels of lockdown. Yeah. First case sounds like it was a couple weeks ago.
The guy that we're here to find, do we know if he's his house is in the city, or is it like an estate outside?
For the sake of this, what they told you is that that you need to seek a doctor that works inside of the city, but that he is a doctor of the mind. Psychologist. That Lizard is a psychologist that works in the city.
You know, I am something of a...
We don't know the name, though. We just know a doctor of the mind.
He's a psychologist in this. You'd think there's probably not, even in a big city like this, probably not very many psychologists.
Cyborgs?
What if he's not a... What if he's a phrenologist?
I mean, in the city, there probably... I don't live here. I'm just stationed here.
Okay, I'm going to try something here.
Oh, here we go.
You know, Sonny, I'm something of myself, a doctor. Maybe I could be of assistance to your doctors in finding a cure.
He's a doctor, he's not an MD. I'm not gonna say.
It's like that biology professor I had who was a doctor of fish ecology.
Exactly. Hey, they don't need to know.
Is anyone on this flight a doctor? I am, but I won't be able to help.
I can't, though, tell you how many fish should be in that lake down there for a healthy ecosystem.
12.
That's a pup. So he's going to look at you and be like, "You're a medical doctor."
Of sort, yes.
What sort? What is that?
Sonny, let's just say I'm a doctor. I am very well versed in diseases, and I am a scientist of sort that can help possibly find a cure.
Lie to me with dice.
I thought that was the character. I was like, oh shit.
Wow.
But I mean, don't put it like that because it scares the shit.
Does the very vague description this guy gave sound like anything in our old monster hunting manual?
Not that you're aware of. No.
If it's a curse, I could maybe fix it very slowly, one person at a time.
That is a 4.
4 on the dot. He will say, well, if you're a doctor and you're willing to offer your time, we'll happily let you in and you can start working with the others on the patients that we have.
Now, if kindly, my group here would need to come with me. They're sort of my protection when I'm traveling long distance.
He says, well, you've got no distance to travel in here, sir, and we can't let anyone that's no non-essentials in or out while we're under quarantine.
Oh, gosh.
All right, so if you're willing to devote your time to this, I'm sure the other doctors would be happy to have your help.
Would you like to point me in the direction of where I need to go?
We can escort you into where the doctors are at in town.
Okay, good luck, guys.
I think you're the one that needs the luck.
Is this like a Divinity Original Sin 2 situation where it's like, we'll escort you, and all of the guards just like walk with him?
No,
Is this
not that
gonna be like when we were in Texas, where I was escorted to the manor, and then they tried to sacrifice me to the Aztec god?
I guess you'll find out. A couple of these other soldiers he'll call over, and he'll ask one of them to take you to the hospital.
Well, let's
And
take through that witch book of yours.
Professor leaves the group and walks with him into town.
We're kind of looking for a
Take care of Sam. As I shout behind me.
doctor of the mind fella. Do you know if he'd be helping or if he'd just be in quarantine?
Likely just in quarantine, unless he's the sort who's got actual medical knowledge. None of
Don't know
that
all that much about him.
talking about your feelings hullabaloo.
How does that make you feel?
Confused, I guess.
That's the
You
first
can't just
step.
have your characters say how they feel. That makes me feel angry.
I can't believe I pulled like the Norman Osborn trick of, I'm something of a scientist myself.
Yeah, something else.
Hey, fuck you. Bogus is a scientist, just not a traditional scientist.
What type of science? Mad.
I guess we'll fall back out of the city a little ways. and-
Any way you can get someone to run a message to him?
I mean, we can see. Look, there's a lot of folk trying to figure out what's going on with their loved ones. We could certainly, if you have his address, we can try and get it through the mail. I can't devote soldiers to tracking down some psych doctor around town. We got bigger fish to fry out here.
No, I'm a ranger myself.
I have zero authority.
I know.
I am well out of my jurisdiction.
I am actually a police officer in another country, so stand aside.
I mean, I can technically cure diseases using healing, but that would also require me to successfully cast healing spells, and who knows if it even work.
And what are you going to tell them? Don't worry, I'm a witch. Let me go and pull the disease out of them with my voodoo
And then we
magic.
gotta save your ass from getting
But then I do
doesn't
it,
work.
and they're like, whoa.
And then they
Yeah,
try to
or
burn
more
you at
likely
the
it
stake.
doesn't work.
Yeah, they burn you, or they try to do the duck trick where they drown you, all that stuff.
Well, what's the bit from Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
She turned me into a newt.
I got that.
I cannot turn anyone into newts. I could look up what rank requirement that would be at. It could be useful.
Something.
Let's do an occult maybe on your witch book.
See if like
We sneak that.
If it's like a curse or
like a curse.
we can
I
try.
mean, they've got the city kind of like all the major entrances. You'd think there might be people, but there is certainly ways to sneak into here. You could attempt to do.
Yeah, let's.
Good thing I talked my way in, because I would not succeed sneaking.
So
Would it
is
be?
there like a wall stopping us, like from the other entrance?
No, there's not. I mean, it's
It's an open city.
It's an open city. Like there's roads in and out. You would have to just go in between some of the main roads to try and do that. And there's probably people patrolling around.
And they're probably betting on the fact that most people are going to be like, a plague, I'm leaving.
Yeah, you'd think that they have people here as more of a forceful precaution or a forceful deliverer of common sense. There's a lot of death in here. Don't come in here. We shouldn't need to stop you after we tell you that.
Hey, shit's on fire, yo. Don't go into this building, idiots.
Holding a
But we're
gas
D-
can. Huh?
But we're D&D characters. That's what we do.
It's true.
Go into the.
If you
sections.
you can go ahead and roll an occult if you'd like.
Try it.
Try it.
Give it a shot. 4s.
You are pretty confident that there is stuff occult, like curse-wise, that like might give people sharper teeth or make people's teeth fall out. Adding extra teeth and like mangling the mouth and throat is no sort of curse that you can find in your book or that you've ever heard of.
Now, do you think they're going like Blade 2, where their mouth's gonna split open, or do you think it's going more like this, the sucker mouth ringed with teeth? Which route? What route do you think they're transforming?
I think it's more like, oh god, my esophagus is closing. Oh god,
Are they turning into? Are they slowly turning into predators?
a city full of predators. We're in out of our league, fellas.
Well, yeah, I guess
There goes Erickson typing down an idea for later. Potential predators.
predators.
Not the predators that you think.
The one where you look them up on a website and the red dot appears.
None of you are children. We should be fine from those predators.
I don't know, Grimes is pretty good looking.
Grimes pretty good looking, and I'm pretty sure the little lady's like 14, so.
I'm like 16.
Yeah, you are in the predator age group, unfortunately.
Yeah, we can try sneaking. I am just terrible at sneaking, so it's gonna be tough.
I can sneak.
You can't.
Yeah, I can sneak okay.
I mean, if a couple of us can get in to find the guy and his address, then we can start to
vampire, and then someone's like, "Hey."
You know, as much as I hate to split the party.
I mean, I've already done that, so.
Yeah. It's like, if some of us can, like, get the guy's address, and then we can send letters back and forth, and we're gonna get a
We're gonna just come get you guys
eye of
with
the
the guy.
situation.
I think part of the problem though is just like we're not gonna be able to wander around town and ask questions.
That is true.
Like if the whole city's under quarantine, most people are staying inside. Like we can't just like go door to door, or like pop into the local saloon and ask like where the guy lives.
Listen, if we've learned anything, there's a lot of people that aren't respecting that quarantine.
Listen, it worked, okay?
I mean,
you're not wrong. It's just
they have giant gaping mouths, but that does not stop them from having a good time.
No, Grimes.
No.
Ooh, lots of thoughts just went through my head that I'm not going to share. So, what's the plan? What are you guys doing?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm open to suggestions.
I can't give suggestions. I'm not here right now.
I mean, we got the professor on the inside. You can maybe figure out what's going on. If they don't arrest him or something.
Try to do something.
Listen,
They're gonna bring him up to the first sick tent. He's gonna go, and shoot him with a gadget, and then
Shoots a net on it.
joke's on you. I don't have a gadget for that. I would seriously maim them.
Right, we just went in with face cover. Nobody know we were.
Okay, Tobaku.
But it's not them knowing who we are. It's getting in the first place.
Well, the issue is like once we're in there, what do we do? Because like,
Go
if
to
this was a
sideboard.
regular city, we can just actually like ask like, hey, you there, fella? You ever heard of a brain doctor?
Well, we can see if
point us
there's
to his
any
house.
like places that are like on the building saying like psych ward or like, you know, like mental health or whatever. I don't know.
Buy one get one free lobotomies.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, lobotomies aren't.
You have to be willing to let
No,
them
this is
use
that
the
period of
same
history.
ice pick.
This is
but-
this is a period of history where they're really quite popular.
No.
That's
That's
why
my
I said,
least favorite part of history.
That's why I said. That's why I said buy one get one free.
People were going around.
I think that is a good idea. We could just like circle the town,
Mm-hmm.
see if we can see names on it.
Wait, do we have like any binoculars or anything?
Got a rifle scope, but
Do
that
you
might
have
look suspicious
eyeballs?
if somebody sees us.
Do you have eyeballs?
I'm just trying to see.
Not in his
Hardly.
pack.
He hardly has any.
I know.
He's got enough scratched up.
Yeah, but I'm very scarred at this point.
Well, some
I don't have any binoculars. I
So we
reached
just
my
run
hand.
into town
Dorothy,
and
my
bash.
brother, and then I erased question mark.
Can we rip off
this
some like
my
articles
wife?
of clothing and like make?
I mean, I just have a
little-
bandana.
Can we just?
Oh, wait, I think I have a bandana too.
Can we just run in the town naked and hope nobody sees us?
Go streaking.
I can just
I don't know why
already
you
see
choose to be naked, but
where I get
trying.
caught going across the quarantine.
Well, I'm just worried we get in trouble once we're in town. Like, I don't want to have to just shoot up a bunch of guys just doing their job.
You're okay with those bounty hunters who are just doing their job?
They shot first,
Quick draw.
and we didn't know they were bounty hunters at the time. We just-
Except for that one bounty hunter.
I feel bad about that. I'll admit. I've been thinking about that a lot. It's like God, I really didn't have any good moral grounds to shoot that fella, and I felt kind of bad about it.
No, we had all the moral
You did.
That
It's
fella.
called being an inconvenience to a player character.
And his name.
Yeah, and the voice Erickson was doing for the character, which is grounds to shoot any NPC on sight.
Alabama.
He didn't have more construction a day in his life.
Alright. I would say we get some bandanas, walk our ass in, sneaky.
Some bandanas, some hooch.
But it still doesn't. Yeah, and then we just wander around until we see doctor's office.
Yes.
Brain doctor.
Yes.
Those sound like a Grimes plan.
It's a good plan.
Grimes says, pointing to a building that says brain doctor.
I don't know. So you want to roll a notice and see if you can see the brain doctor from here?
Shut up. We gotta go into town.
Says you can't see it from where you are.
You think the simplest plan is the worst plan? You need to shut up.
I mean,
Shut
okay,
up.
let's be honest. The simplest plan is also the only plan you have right now.
So we're
That sounded
going.
dangerously close to the syphilis plan. Syphilis, as far as I know, does not cause extra teeth in the
So
mouth. That's
y'all
not
think
what's
that's a
going
good
on.
idea? Get some bandanas, sneak on in, see where the brain doctor is, where bottom is, or whatever the hell.
Right.
I reckon that's good as I need it to be.
So who's sneaking in?
I
you hear
guess
that?
all of
Oh,
us.
yeah. I just don't think we're gonna find anything out here.
Are you sneaking in a particular way? Particular time of day or night? Or like
Right in the
what's
front.
strategy?
I mean, it's gonna be harder to like find any buildings we're looking for at night, but we're less likely to get spotted.
I don't know. Grimes is the mastermind here. Why don't we get him to tell us?
And just like that, Matty G sleeping on the couch tonight.
I mean, in a statistical sense, sneaking in at night does give us a bonus,
Gives you an edge.
so we might as
Might as well.
See what happens with the professor.
So, Professor,
Yes.
they're waiting for nightfall. You get brought by this guy to what looks like a large hospital. And once you get walked in, he'll go up and say something to a person at a front desk who's also kind of wrapped up. She will walk away for a second, and then an individual will walk up to you. And the soldier will give him a nod and turn to you and say, "Thank you so much for offering to help here, and best of luck to you, Doctor." And he'll walk out of the building, and walking up a young man, a middle-aged man. He looks like he's probably typically a clean-shaven, handsome guy who's been working non-stop for like a week straight, so he's kind of like a scraggly, exhausted-looking guy now. But he walks up and he says, "So, I'm told you're a doctor. Dr. Melvin Holt. You can call me Mel." And he shakes your hand.
Professor Bogus. Just.
Are you a doctor?
I am a doctor. Yes. I'm more of a scientist. I do teach at a university and.
Oh, medical school. Which one?
Shit. What's the university in?
You're pretty sure there's no medical, like there's not like a doctor program at your university. If you'd like to make me a academics roll to name a medical school,
No, Erickson, before he names one, think about which one this guy went to.
well, there'll be a separate roll for if he names the same one.
I really think. Let's see how this roll goes first, and then I have a backup plan for what I could say. Yep. That one's a 5-er. Oh, that one's a 6. So we'll let that roll sit where it lands.
6 explodes.
So 6 explodes. Luckily, I have academics, so I'm not putting a -2 to this. 8.
All right.
He's just in the situation you find yourself in.
You name a fairly well-known, a little more niche, but a kind of like an Eastern medical school, and Northeastern, somewhat nearby to here.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me a D6, and don't get a 1.
A 3.
He's like, "Oh, heard of it. I had some colleagues that went there. Yeah, excellent university."
Yeah, I'm taking a sabbatical right now to kind of do some exploring, and
What luck that you happened upon us here?
I don't know. Hearing it is sounds like you got yourself a real pickle situation going on.
It's quite. Come with me. Let me show you what exactly is going on here. And he
Walks into the back room, jumped by 6 zombies. You can see the problem we're having.
is like pinning him back with a chair.
That's just a Saturday at the emergency ward.
So he takes you down up like one of these flights of stairs and in this hall where you can see it's just lined with beds of people. And he walks up to one, showing there's a person sitting there. You can see what looks like a like pretty young man, probably like early to mid-teens. Man might even be a strong word for it. Who's laying in the bed, and you can see he's like, oh, careful with your elbows there, strategy.
You get only one of those.
Stop flirting with your wife. Pay attention.
Stop trying to make up during the session.
No. You see this like probably 14, 15-year-old boy, really, who's laying in bed. He's uncovered on his face, and you can see like at a glance, his mouth looks like his lips look a little puffy, but you don't see anything super weird with them. But he's kind of constantly like he's like trying to speak or breathe, and you can see he's moving at like the inside of his mouth is just lined with extra teeth, all inside and kind of randomly spots. And it's kind of like there's kind of the like mouth movement he's trying to make, like he's struggling for breath.
This is why you don't let Erickson run the horror campaigns.
And he turns to you and he says, "This is what we're dealing with here, and unfortunately for many of these people, it only takes a certain amount of time for it to cause enough damage to asphyxiate them. It seals up around their trachea. That makes them so they're unable to breathe."
Any other symptoms that have come along with this besides the teeth and?
Looks like a bit of fever and lethargy, but a lot of that has to do with just a lot of the exhausted state of people is just their inability to eat, oftentimes because of everything going on.
Interesting.
Breathing difficulties. We think that some of this might spread down to the lungs themselves and have growths and stuff there as well.
No thanks.
Yeah.
I'd like to go back to shooting werewolves. I can't shoot germs.
This is Erickson working at a hospital, just like
Time to take some stress.
Have you taken any samples, like mouse swabs to kind of look at what's?
As best as we can. It's we're not sure what exactly is causing it. We assume that it's taken in orally somehow, but we have put the word out to cover the faces of everyone around in case it's airborne. We're not sure if that's the case or not.
Man, really getting real with the.
I'm trying to think of if this is post germ theory or not. I mean, one of those things. It's like
Again,
Erickson's
I
made
know
up his
about
own-
medical.
yeah.
I know about history. I don't really know about medical history.
I'm just
Tell you some very specific medical history to my field, but that's not important here.
Actually, wasn't
Shall we step out of here to avoid risking infection?
Do you have something wrapped around your face yet?
I mean, they probably.
He probably asked you to put something on before he brought you back.
They held him down.
Get out of here! Dogs!
You fascists!
You have to kill me before you put a mask on me. Oh, you're just a Karen.
Yeah. So you're probably gonna get out.
You can step out of there. It says, any help just attending to patients, doing rounds, and trying to help alleviate symptoms any way you can would be much appreciated. And then any ideas on helping
Can I do
discover what's causing it?
Can I do a science roll on this? Can I see if there's?
It wouldn't be weird science, but you could do...
know, like actual science roll.
Yeah, you could do an actual science roll.
Professor Bogus knows some actual science.
Yeah, it's not just weird science.
I just assumed you only knew the weird kind.
No, I was spec'd out for actual science first before we found out about weird science.
Okay.
So.
He doesn't believe in. Well, he used to not believe in.
That
God.
is
He's
a 7.
So, you know, I mean, microscopes do exist. They're not like super high-end fancy, but like being able to look closer at stuff. Some along those lines might give you some information. They've probably done that, but You think it's some sort of disease. It's probably either taken in by food or contact or air. It's either probably eaten or like droplets, like from other people, or it's airborne. Hopefully not that one, but who knows?
You do.
I mean, you could certainly. He could show you if you ask him about that.
Kind of a maybe an off-kilter question to ask, but I'll just ask it anyway. By chance, have there been any recent passings from the disease that are here in this building that we could take a closer look at?
And he says there are some. We've avoided too many autopsies due to the fact that to do so makes the patients not look very great for afterwards when they're being interred for their families' sakes. But some families have offered to allow us to do so on their family members so that we can get to the bottom of this.
Uncle Joe? We were going to have a closed casket whether it looked good or not.
Honestly, the extra teeth isn't an improvement. The fella only had 3 left to begin with.
Oh, Uncle Joe, your teeth are looking awful good these days.
What we're looking for is some kind of demonic dentist, otherwise known as a dentist.
Have you tried hiring a dentist to solve the problem? Anybody interested in setting a teeth-pulling world record?
Can you pull faster than they can grow?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to be like, well, if you would allow me, I would like to kind of dig deeper into... just snaps the
but they're the, like, elbow-long, like, black mad scientist.
Yeah.
Oh, of course they are.
Yeah.
He's wearing the, like, double-breasted lab coat.
It's dead!
It's
dead! Super dead. I wonder how.
Pulls goggles down.
They'll bring you back and they'll let you. They'll say, we have one body currently available for this, and he'll assist you with an autopsy if you'd like to do so.
Yes, I would like to do so.
Go ahead and give me... Let's call it science.
Alright.
We'll call it science.
If he does it while cackling maniacally, like he'll let him run mad science.
Yes, but that may affect the perception of the good doctor.
I mean, to be fair, nobody's commented on my twitching eye because I think that's the least of their concern.
I think you should have made it roll a hacking for this.
That's a 4.
That's a 4. You don't look like you know what you're doing, but you're able to do it. So he's like, oh, this guy's probably like a family medicine doctor.
Yeah, he's never done an autopsy before.
Never done an autopsy, but he'll, with his assistance especially, he'll be able to successfully carve into this person's face, and it's more or less what I described. It looks like swelling and extra teeth growing in along this person's mouth, and then as well as like both their eating and breathing tube has these growths growing in. It seems like this particular person probably like suffocated to death eventually.
Any in their lungs?
That's what I was saying. Like, well, yeah, this. I think we may want to test out see this theory about it going into the lungs.
Looking through and checking it, roll me one more science. How will you go about doing this?
How will I go about doing this? Or do I need to roll first? Okay.
Just roll to see.
That's a 5.
A 5. Okay. What you notice is that there's not there is some in both the stomach and in the lungs. There seems to be more in the stomach.
So I'm gonna ask this. Is there anything here that's local to the town that people might eat or ingest?
He says, I mean, everything, this is a pretty big city. A lot of what we eat here is grown all around from nearby or harvested. And there's not all that much local. A lot of it's brought in from outside and fairly varied.
What about the water that you use to...
And he kind of like perks up. This is as well, we are one of the few cities on the coast here that has a running water system.
I think we found our culprit there. I'm gonna say that's probably the moment he perked up. Kind of is giving me like vibes that it's the water.
Let me just say, I mean, as far as I can tell, the water's it could be to blame, but I guess I don't know how anything would get into that system unless someone intentionally put it there.
Where do you go to get access to the system?
There's a underground system section. It's ran by people who it's their career path to do so.
Career path?
It's a real.
What is this, Fallout 3? It's like you take a test and that tells you what you're supposed to do.
It says engineers and the like.
Okay.
Crazy people.
So Professor Bogus people.
You're closer to an engineer than you are a doctor, let's be honest.
Hey, I talked my way into this.
You're just like you're lucky that science and
were
surgery.
Are the engineers? Are they still underground, keeping the system going, or are they
I
forced to
believe
quit?
so, yes. They're watched pretty closely. If they exhibit symptoms, they've been told to leave in case they could contaminate the water source. If that is, we still don't know how this is being transferred from one person to the next.
I'm trying to think of what else I kind of want to ask about this. I will do for you.
This is exactly what happened to the Romans with their lead pipes.
Yeah.
If anybody has read a history book in 1881, they'd know that.
Reading. You're funny.
I'm just
Funny
gonna
guy.
kind of keep some stuff to myself because now I'm thinking of like how I'm gonna get back to them, and because I think we found like our first location to kind of start digging for this.
So with that, coming back to the rest of you, you're going to be put up in like basically quarters in the hospital that they have set aside for the doctors to stay to sleep that night. The rest of you, as nightfall comes, are trying to sneak into the city, I believe. Is that correct?
It is correct.
Would you call this dim, dark, or blackness?
I would call it dark.
Whoa, that's
I
four.
was gonna say, roll.
Especially if you're going in between the main roads. Like there is oil lamps and stuff. They have lighting in the city proper, but sneaking into the city in between main roads, you'll be able to be in darkness.
I was gonna say, roll a d4. Figure this out.
So essentially, what that means is it's like
I got to pretty much over here.
it like at least on this cheat sheet it says -4 for dark. So I don't know if like
That's why -4 to perceive you in the
yeah,
dark.
I would.
Wait.
For the sake of this, I'll give you guys +4 in your stealth checks and have you
I got
roll stealth instead.
+2.
It's a flat roll.
You do yes. You have yeah.
So you get 2d6. So 3 plus 4 is 7.
I'll take it.
7.
Both explode.
That's why they call him old sneaky boy Mohan. So 9, 7, 7, 7.
Incredibly
Good work,
for
everybody.
people.
You guys, under the cover of nightfall, start like sliding in, and you kind of, I assume, are kind of trying to mainly take alleys, especially at first, and you have something covering your face. And as you kind of move in, and you kind of get into this alley, you're kind of like creeping along, and all 3 of you, or all 4 of you, are like kind of like sudden like jolt, like you think you're being watched some, because you hear a noise coming from kind of up and above. You hear like a.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Does it sound like maracas?
No. Sounds exactly like what I just.
The ominous sound of maracas in the darkness. I don't know what's about to happen, but it's not gonna be good. I think.
Can
I think you just
roll
found your psychiatrist.
Can I roll a notice?
Go for it.
It's a Ivern.
Ivan, you kind of quickly look around and glance up, and you're able to kind of catch the glint of something's eyes up above looking at you. And you kind of look closer, and it kind of leans just enough into the light that you see what I can only describe as a cat with human teeth going,
Ah, good.
looking down at you as these extra teeth going around inside of its mouth. Human-shaped teeth.
Hang on.
And kind of like looks.
Can you throw...
Can we throw rhymes at him?
Can I throw a knife?
Sure.
Do knives have
Sure.
a throwing
I'll say you could throw a knife at him.
Alright.
Use throwing.
Alright.
Completely fails it.
Yeah, well, I will.
Oh,
because
throwing's not a thing in this.
throwing's not a thing.
Is it?
Can I do fighting? Like a fighting check to throw a knife? Shooting?
I guess fighting.
It's just under athletics. I can look up and see what they changed it to.
Are you trying to kill this cat?
No, I want to just like
You can like throw a rock at it.
Yeah.
Why throw a knife
I
at
had
it
a
if you're not
knife
trying
on
to kill
a.
it?
I had a knife on my character. I just.
Athletics. There's random bits of rock and stuff. You're just trying to scare it away.
No, I'm trying to knock it out.
Oh, you're trying to hit it.
Yeah, I'm trying to hit it.
You're trying to hurt the cat.
Yeah.
Your feet are over here. They're in our territory.
We'll call it fighting. We'll call it fighting.
Excuse me, doctor. Can you tell us what's wrong with our cat? Pulls it out of a bag and it's just hanging there going.
Fighting.
Fight this cat.
Fight.
Fight
4.
this cat.
4. You hit the cat.
All right.
So did you throw the knife at it, or a rock?
You gonna kill a cat?
Up.
Do it.
Evens. Rock. Odds. Knife.
But it might be an eve.
Odds.
So you threw the knife. Roll knife damage.
Knife damage is a D6, I believe. Or is it 2D6?
Probably D6 plus your
Cat,
strength die.
He's just
D6
being
plus
weird
strength.
on the rooftop and you just kill it.
4 plus my strength.
Your strength die. The roll one of
Yep,
those.
athletics is for
2.
throwing.
So 6.
No,
No,
your
you gotta
strength
roll a
die.
second.
You roll your
Oh,
strength
oh,
die
oh.
and add it to the
Excuse me. Sorry. How
melee
damage
combatants
works.
over here.
7.
7. You throw this, you're like, throw this knife and you're like, "Rah!" And this thing kind of thump, hits, does not land on its feet, and is dead.
Nice. I'll go and clean off the knife.
Mhm.
Anybody got any?
Alcohol.
Yeah. No, I'll try to like find some like rags or something to like.
No, I thought you meant
So
to
I don't have
disinfect the
Can we
knife.
take a look?
Don't eat that
look
knife
at
for
the
eating.
cat?
Don't use that knife for eating.
You look
I know
at
it's a silver
It's
knife.
a
I don't
cat with
Oh, it's the
like,
silver knife.
Yeah.
bony protuberances about the shape and size of human teeth lining its mouth.
Can I
Well-
open the teeth to see if it has extra?
I mean, you can see that like kind of tucked behind some of these are normal cat's teeth. They're kind of forward and kind of growing out over the top of its normal teeth. And as you kind of like look closer here, you hear like
Jesus Christ.
coming from up above and different other different spots.
What is
in the
Jason Voorhees just turned into a cat?
I think we might need to report this. Seems very strange.
And you can see there's a number of other cats in the alley that are like peering around from trash cans and like.
If it is a water source thing, that would make sense. It's like where would cats eat and humans eat? Like what's the?
Well, we wouldn't know that's water.
I mean, I assume
You
this
guys
is-
wouldn't know. Like, as players, you're kind of.
I'm
you're-
just brainstorming. Yeah.
'cause
Sorry.
I assume this is like
these
a
fucking
scrawny
cats.
alley cat and not like somebody's prized fluffy.
Yeah, no, these are like
Not this
cats.
time.
I mean, it could literally just be digging around in old tin cans and stuff in an alley. Like, whatever it is that they're like.
I assume they're cremating them. It's a plague.
Well, not chewing on the bodies, but
Yeah.
like.
Digging around. to
If
see if
it's from something they're eating, then somebody could like eat their canned salmon or can of peas or whatever, because it's got to be peas. Damn it, cursed peas. That's Erickson's plan.
Killer tomatoes from outer space.
And then chucking the can in the trash, and then the cats are
Right.
getting into it or something. I don't know.
Or something. I don't know. Yeah. Let's.
I just don't like that they're making ha cha 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 noises. It's kind of weird.
Well, people are kind of doing something similar.
Design.
It's their way of like just being like trying to breathe.
Yeah. I'll take this to wherever the hospital is. I'll be like, I think we should report this to the medical folks.
I mean, now that we're in town, nobody in town probably knows that we don't live here.
Right.
It is a big city.
we live on Smith Street. If anybody asks.
What's Smith Street? North Smith Street? West Smith Street? South Smith Street? South Smith
You could just-
Smith?
you could just-
South Smith Smith?
Now
Swiss cheese. Are you scatting over there?
So, are you guys just trying to go to the hospital now with this dead cat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know. To me, I'm like, is this a new development? So.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, let's go to the hospital.
I mean, I'm probably still awake, looking at the body, and
Well, at this point, they came in at like the middle of the night, so you're asleep at
I
this
mean,
point.
are there any?
would
like,
we say I'm asleep though? Because does Bogus really sleep?
I mean, if you don't want debuffs,
Science
eventually you
never
have
sleeps.
to. You're a human being, so you sleep.
Sure.
Um,
Okay.
I mean, are
I'm
there
actually
like,
an elf.
Are there like trash
Actually,
cans or stuff like that in this alley? Like something that like the cats could be getting into?
Yeah.
Do any of them look like cats have been getting into them?
I mean, go ahead and give me depending on what you're looking for, you can give me a survival or a notice. Survival is going to be more like seeing where the cats have been at.
Right.
Notice will be more for what's going on around here.
I'll do the notice if you do the survival.
Okay.
Can we split it like that?
Sure. You get a notice, I get a survival. He's a funny. You get a notice, I get a survival. You get a notice, I get a survival. We'll see these cats are taken in the trash.
5.
Alright.
It wasn't a competition until you beat me.
So, looking around here and kind of investigating this alleyway, you can tell they're kind of circulating around. The cats are moving all around inside of this alleyway all the time. They're definitely digging in the trash. It also, though, looks like there's a decent amount of, like, from your noticing here, everyone can notice the smell, but, like, there's a decent amount of people, like, kind of dumping shit and probably, like, kind of fluid dumping and stuff like that, chamber pots and the like, and the cats sort of circulate around near that as well.
It's the poop.
They eat the poo-poo.
They eat the poop.
They eat the boo-boo.
Alright. It's just weird me out that the cats have it, honestly.
These noises are occasionally going on the entire time.
I guess
guys.
we'll
I'm not
wait
gonna
until the
lie,
morning
when
to,
you
like,
said the cat,
go to
I
the
thought it was like
hospital
the
and be
cat
like,
person.
No, this is just a straight up cat with human teeth.
I reckon maybe the cats can be the soldiers.
I feel like people would notice that, though.
How I think it makes more sense that the people get it first and then the cats get it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know how the cats would be giving it to the people.
We can investigate that bill.
It's true. If they're all going around this abandoned building, is that...
There's
No, sorry.
there's like normal buildings around you. There's not like one abandoned one next to them.
Oh.
It's just like people are dumping stuff around them. And that's
So are
probably
you
how.
guys going to? Are you guys going to the hospital from here?
Yeah, let's go to
Or are
the
you
hospital.
looking for? You going straight to the hospital?
Well, I thought maybe we should wait till the morning, because
No, let's go to the
it's the
hospital.
middle of the night. Everyone's gonna be asleep. We're gonna be like, "Hey, you seen these cats?" And they're like, "Yeah, we've seen the cats. Get the fuck out of here."
I haven't slept for 4 days.
Yeah.
I mean, the question is just kind of like, what else can we look into tonight?
I check
We might just need to. What building?
the one with the cats in it. He said it was the cats were like.
They're not in the building. They're like around in this alley.
Oh, I thought.
Like some of them are like up on ledges, and some are down in near the
There's just stray
trash.
cats everywhere with human teeth going.
I thought they were like in the window of a building or something.
They're all staring at you. They're all in these buildings. And then, behold.
I mean, we also
I just
need to
turn to the
sleep.
cat and go.
So we'll need to find some place to.
Jeffords, don't eat the cats.
I don't know if anybody will let us in though.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like no one's gonna. We have to find a spot that we can like pitch a tent.
City Park.
Sneak back out of town to sleep and sneak back in.
Are there city parks here?
Yeah, sure. There's like squares and stuff.
Okay. Well, if you want to do that, we can do that.
We won't be hobos tonight.
Unless you
We've
wanna
been
just
hobos.
camp in an abandoned building or something.
Yeah. Which is also something we can do. Scout around for a abandoned building and just squat in it.
Yeah.
Alright. We'll give it a shot.
For the sake of it, we'll say you can find an
It's-
abandoned enough structure that you could go into that give you some coverage for just sleeping in.
There we go. It ain't
It's a big
comfortable,
city.
but we've been roughing it.
Yeah. About as comfortable as you've been sleeping. And the next morning you'll
We've
be
been
able to
shot
wait.
and stabbed and almost blown up and all sorts of stuff. So, sleeping in an abandoned building.
Nah. Easy peasy. Yeah, what else? I guess in the morning we'll head to the
To the hospital.
hospital.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and like step outside real quick to kind of just look around.
Just constantly pace like you're deep in thought and smoke your pipe the whole time, and nobody will come to you with any questions.
There you go. I'm
Hold
gonna
a clip.
Where are you trying to go?
just kind of like step outside and like look at the town during the day a little bit more, where I'm not stuck in the.
They are trying to kind of like ask you to do stuff as a doctor when you wake up the next day, so you'll have if you're trying to just like leave the hospital, it'll take some convincing because they're like. When you wake up, it's like, okay, here's a list of patients for you to go through and go check on. Like, they're seeing you as a doctor here.
Okay, I'll go through my patients.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's gonna take some time. They're giving you like a stack of papers, and you're expected to like go person by person.
Eric's just letting some trauma out here.
Yes.
If you aren't like blatantly ignoring their work that they're handing you, then it'll be hard to like just leave the hospital right now.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Is that Carl's Jr.?
It is.
Yeah.
Or any other marketable hamburger brand? I feel like we shouldn't get a deal with Carl's Jr. because all their ads are always like weirdly sexual.
They did have those.
We don't want we don't need to have it be like a schmucks like sucking on fries and shit like that.
You'd do it.
I would.
do it.
No, I'm a corporate. I'll sell out. Anyway,
I'm gonna. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm gonna say here because I'm not good with. I don't have bedside manner, if that weren't obvious.
a lot of these people are not doing well. It's more of a like status check on them, and there's like nurses and stuff taking care of them that are expecting you to like give them advice on what to do.
The nurses are all doing all the hard work.
They're doing it all anyway. But
I'm just getting.
this is a different time.
I'll go. Shit. I'll go check on a couple patients, and if a nurse asks me anything, I'm just gonna. I'll go check on a couple patients first, and then if a nurse.
A lot of it is like you going to the patient, and like there's people watching you that are like, "Oh, good, the doctor's here." Like watch you to like watch you go up and do whatever you're gonna do.
Okay, so
what
I know my book is only useful for when in combat situations, but can I pull out like the medical book and just open it and kind of like search through it while in front of these people?
Sure.
Just.
By some whispers of like that's just like doctors googling shit today, which they totally do.
Just my eye twitching as I'm looking for something like fuck.
Go ahead and give me a performance.
Oh fuck. Well, for explodes.
No, there's a chance.
That's a 4.
A 4? Okay. They're like watching. His methods are odd, but he seems to really care. You can tell it's really affecting him. He's so impassioned.
What the fuck am I doing?
What am I supposed to do here? As you started there, you guys arrive. Looking at, I mean, it's pretty easy to find a hospital. It's one of the very big buildings and seems to have a lot of focus on it at the moment. You arrived out front of the hospital. Entering in, there is a person masked like behind the desk who's like, "Can I help you? Are any of you sick?"
Well, we found something that was kind of odd. I don't know if anybody else has reported it, but these cats have like some kind of growths like people were getting.
Yeah.
I know. So I was thinking there might be some kind of connection.
Go get the doctor. Which doctor? A doctor.
A witch doctor. Excellent idea.
Can I roll to see if they go grab me?
Someone who seems dressed like a nurse walks up to you and is like, "Doctor? Doctor, was it Bagus? Bagus? I'm sorry, is it French?"
It's Bogus.
Of course it is. I'd like to say, Dr. Bogus, we have some people at the front who have found something very interesting.
Okay.
And leading up, you guys see the attending physician, Dr. Bogus, walk up to you by this nurse.
Can we have another doctor?
I think this one's broken.
Can we have a real doctor?
Shut up, you're blowing my cover.
And so he is brought up, and they're like, "Go ahead, folks. This is Dr. Bogus. He'll take a look at what you have here to see."
Hi, Dr. Bogus.
Hi there, young man. How are you?
We found this cat that seems to be suffering from the same disease as all these people. There's a bunch of them out in the alleys last
I
night.
just take the cat from him. Just kind of look at it. This is very peculiar. What was the doctor who I first met with?
He told you to call him Mel.
Mel.
He was Melvin Holt.
Can one of you, can one or... Because how many nurses are there? 2 or just 1 now?
There's 2 people up here.
Okay. Well, miss, could you go just check on my remaining patients while I'm away? And you, other little miss, can you go get Dr. Melvin for me?
Right, of course, right away, doctor. And they'll both go about the task.
There's some nurses gonna be real mad about it.
And right now, you guys have a moment where it's just you in this lobby.
All right. What the fuck is this?
It's exactly what we bought.
It's a cat, Bogus.
Well, no shit. Why does it have the disease?
Well, that's why we came here, genius.
Well, I'll kind of relay like my theory that it's something in the water because it is a private like water pipeline that they have. And
I mean, it's something they're eating or something they're drinking. That gives us a couple of drops to explore, I guess.
Or what they're shitting. Or he said it's what they're eating. Then what they're shit. Ah, I see.
and if they get the
I had to
disease,
follow that to its natural conclusion, you might
Yes.
say.
From point A to point B, one might say.
So where's the water coming from?
underground. They have engineers working on it.
That's where the demons live.
The engineers aren't.
Well, the demon we run into most often, we've only run into above ground.
The engineers aren't allowed to come up unless they're actually really sick. So,
Have any of them gotten sick?
not that's been relayed to me.
Maybe that's something to check into, see if any of the engineers got sick. Because that'll help eliminate water. Because if they're working around the water all the time, then...
But unless it's something unless it's the water that they're drinking.
But wouldn't they, at some point, be drinking the water?
Yeah, I guess fair enough.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about.
I didn't think about that either.
It's kind of we were kind of leaning into survivorship bias there for a second, where it's like actually it turns out that if you look at the situation and nobody working on the water's getting sick, then it's probably not the water. It's like, oh,
I'm just saying.
right.
Right, and they're like, oh man, a lot of the engineers have been getting sick. And it's like, oh, well, okay.
Because that's like that was like airplane. They were looking at bullet holes in returning aircraft in World War II to figure out where they needed to put more armor plating, and then they were finally just like, wait, we're looking at this problem all wrong. Because if a plane can get shot here and come back, then it's fine. We need to put armor plating all the places where these planes aren't getting shot.
You hear, Dr. Bogus, what did you need? As Doctor rounds the corner.
Young folks, this is Dr. Melvin. Yeah, Dr.
You wait for him to confirm.
We turn to look at him, and he looks nervously back and forth and looks at his name tag and goes, yes, I'm Dr. Melvin.
Sure I am.
He's some more sin-possessed doctor.
No,
I know this game.
No, we've run into the other party of adventurers, and he's like bullshitting his way through every interaction with Dr. Bogus.
Dr. Bogus is like, so I cut here next, right? Yes, of course, right here. Mm-hmm.
So, Dr. Mel, they brought in a cat that has been, seems to be suffering from the same ailment as our human patients.
I've heard some rumor of animals on the street and some pets getting this as well, but haven't seen it in person yet.
Yeah, maybe something for us to look further
Look into them.
They're making weird sounds.
Whether
too,
it's,
going like
sounds somewhat like the noises people make as well when they're having the difficulty breathing.
It's them trying to breathe, pretty much. Mel, there's one question I didn't ask. Well, I have a question for you when we get in private here.
Very well. Thank you, folks, for bringing this in. We'll take a look. Stay inside.
You gotta, part of the reason we're here is, a brain doctor fellow lives in town?
You mean a psychologist in town? Shrink?
We were told brain doctor, or with brains.
No, I think doctor of the mind.
Doctor of the mind. That's
Right.
the word that was
Brain.
used.
Neurologists are like a totally.
We got a neurologist right over here. Every second lobotomy is free on Tuesdays.
He says, as far as shrinks in town, the only one I know is Dr. Bauer, but he's very selective with patients if you're looking to get on with him. He runs very expensive, I believe.
Yeah. Could you give us an address?
Sure. I can at least give you some directions. I don't know the exact address.
Thanks, sir.
Doctor. Shrink!
grow.
How did he know the code word?
So you guys are allowed, like, beckoned out of the hospital as the doctors now need to discuss
They can keep
this.
the dead cat. That's fine.
Well, I'm pretty
we
sure.
get another
I'm pretty
for
sure we did because we're gonna science on it.
Yeah, science all on this.
No science on the cat. So you guys go in with the dead toothy cat, and the rest of you are moving on to the office of Dr. Bauer.
Yeah, do we want to go there, or do we want to try and deal with this? I mean, he's part of the Eyes of Providence, so he might have some idea of what's going on.
I think there might be a little bit of overlap.
Oh, probably.
There, so we might,
There's most likely overlap here.
I have no idea what's fucking going on. Bauer is.
You're part of like a secret world order. How do you not know what the fuck is going on here?
Listen, if you know anything about secret world orders,
They have no idea what's
any
going
kind
on.
of organized government body at all.
They have no fucking clue. So you guys are moving to that office next?
Yeah, much
You can
better.
arrive outside of it. It's a building with multiple different kind of places, but there's one that says that is like Doctor of the Mind, Dr. Emil Bauer.
Try the handle.
It opens and you walk into this office and there's a lady at the front desk who kind of looks up and is like, hello? How can I help you?
We're here to see Dr. Bauer.
Do you have an appointment?
We were sent by a man named Raven.
One moment.
There you go. We're like, just hits. She in on it?
I don't know.
Maybe.
She looked very confused, but she goes back and talks. She comes back and she's like, he says to head on back.
Thank you, ma'am.
You walk in.
Do you think we could get Professor Bogus booked here?
You listen here.
The important thing about counseling is it's really a two-way street.
You would never get Bogus to talk.
He's got a volunteer for it.
This man's been a construction zone for many years. You guys enter
Sidewalks
in,
closed.
All
you
the
enter
time.
into what looks like a shrink office. There's like a chaise lounge style chair.
Does he have a skull?
There is no skull sitting anywhere. But sitting down here, there's a pretty well kept man. He seems of like somewhat like Middle Eastern descent. He's got very tan skin. He's clean shaven, handsome guy who is sitting at a desk nearby to this chair.
Now, handsome, very handsome, or very, very handsome.
Like handsome enough that you're like, oh, he's a pretty good looking guy, but not handsome enough that Grimes has to shoot him.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
he's riding that line very well. He maybe has the hand, like the attractive.
Grimes is
but not the very
Grimes is just staring him down like with evil eyes, like I will do it.
Yeah, you get any prettier, we got a problem. And entering in, he'll kind of like look up at you guys, and he kind of like puts his hands together like this, and you can see sitting on his finger a ring that, at a glance, looks like it has some sort of snake-like depiction on it.
Mr. Lizard, I presume.
Please call me Emil. It would seem that our mutual friend Herman sent you.
That would be correct, sir.
Well, I'm afraid you've come to this city at a very odd time.
You seem to have noticed.
Cats have human teeth.
Humans have more human teeth.
One of our
Too?
one of our own is at the hospital playing doctor.
They're going like.
Says, from what I've been told, I was told to expect potentially some people coming, but that you are you the group involved with Toad?
Yes.
Rest in peace. And you notice, like, he's kind of like a, I don't give a fuck that she died, is kind of the vibe you get off of this guy when he does that. Like a Toad, like a rest in her soul. He's like, I am aware that there's someone apparently dangerous after us all. I have put the necessary funds in the necessary pockets to secure some, we'll say, improved security. Unfortunately, that's been waylaid by our current situation, as nothing and no one is coming in and out of town.
I also think it's important you understand, sir, that Toad's place wasn't exactly undefended.
As well, at the very least, I hope to take more precautions than she did.
Flee for your lives.
And while she had, I'm sure, plenty of tricks up her sleeve, I think whoever this is will have a harder time silencing me.
You know, I mean, while we're here, do you know anything about what's going on?
I wish I did. If I did, we'd be coming to a conclusion sooner. What I can tell, I think this is something intentional. I think this is something manufactured. I'm not sure how it's getting put around here. It's no disease I've ever heard of, and I've been around for a while. I don't believe it is mystical in origin. I believe it is, as I said, engineered, not
It's
manifested.
in the realm of bogus.
If, to your mind, if there was, say, a food source that was contaminated, would one jump out at you? As a resident?
I mean,
Something new in town, perhaps?
It's that damn Coca-Cola.
it's the Taco Bell down the street. That's what it is. He says, I've had the thought similarly to you of that. One thing I've noticed, particularly because I serve primarily the wealthy clientele, is that it is not affecting only one group of a financial status. So if it were from a particular establishment, it would have to be one that services both the wealthy and the less to do.
What about like
Something that everybody eats.
yeah,
about-
canned goods or anything like
Water
that that's sort of
source?
new to town?
Water source?
Not that I'm aware of that's new to
Know from
town.
the engineers. Then everybody would have it.
But I haven't had the chance to ask it, so this is your chance to ask.
Do you drink the water?
Do you just ask him?
I mean, yeah, like the doctors do seem to agree that it's something in the water or something in the food.
He says, I personally have no need for it, but plenty of people do, I'm sure.
Every single one of these Eyes of Providence people is just weird.
Well, yeah, that's why they're the Eyes of Providence.
It's fair.
Otherwise, they just be the government.
What do you mean you don't need no water?
He says,
He prefers whiskey.
Oh, okay.
That's true. Grimes doesn't drink much
Here,
water
here.
either.
Can I tell whether me specifically, I'm gonna see if he's also a vampire.
If your fangs are tingling.
you
I'll be able to tell.
you tend to kind of get a sense of like the people around you, and the kind of like a predator prey instinct sort of thing. You don't feel a pulse off of this guy that you would normally feel off of living people around you. You don't. He doesn't particularly look like he's undead, but you're not sure if he has blood flowing through his veins.
I was gonna say, it's your vampire gaydar.
It ain't going off right
He's
now.
not. His windows are open. Light is coming in, and he's not going. So you think probably not a vampire, but
He's just a rubber snake.
that's how he got the nickname. He's just an actual rubber snake.
No, a rubber steak.
Oh, rubber steak. I just said a rubber snake. I was like, that's why they call him snake. Or no, they call him lizard. They call him lizard.
He's a four-wheel dragon.
He's just one of those little toys that you put in the water and it grows.
I mean, that doesn't help us figure out whether it's the water or if it's
Well, if it's hitting
Food.
every, like,
level of society.
right, and that in itself is a good clue.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I mean, it definitely means it's not, like a restaurant or something like that.
That'd be something they all like.
you guys are okay.
I don't know if it's the water.
I
just think that
I don't know.
I think
that's-
it's worth checking.
it makes some sense.
I'm just really just wanting
Well-
you guys to go check this out.
No, well, because it's one of those things. Is like if it's water, then it's like everybody's already fucked.
Right.
You know, like you can't go more than 2 days without drinking water, so everybody's been exposed.
Unless we
And
kill the original teeth cat.
if we kill the original COVID patient, everybody else is
I think COVID already probably did.
That was North Korea's strategy.
you're not wrong.
You make me sad.
You started. Since you said that like your clientele's mostly the rich, you know if this has been kind of centered in any side of town or if it's been kind of everywhere.
Seems to be pretty well distributed. I primarily take care of local politicians and military leaders, and they all live fairly focused in town. Some of them have come down with it, some have not.
We just can't like shake up every grocery store. That's just, you know.
Where are your green beans? Goddamn.
Where are your green beans?
Where are your tomatoes from space?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's the water either. I just think I agree. Yeah. It's like if it is the water, everybody's screwed. But that's just like kind of our only.
I mean, it's if it is like it does lend
Best
itself
lead
to
of
that
it.
because it's hitting like distributed in the city and hitting distributed based on wealth distribution. Like that narrows it down significantly to my mind, where it's like, okay, it's something.
That's actually kind of an interesting question. Do the poorer sides of town have access to the running water?
You think? He said, probably not.
But they might have well water.
Right, but if it's from like the specific, like if it's specifically from the like running water town,
So
And
there's
it's affecting
some
the poor.
access to everyone in certain street corners that they can get to the water.
oh yeah, so it could just be
It's like public wells.
yeah. I mean, we might have to check that out. I don't know if anybody will let us in, but
Knock, knock. Under whose authority? You got us there, bud.
the occult police.
Yeah,
The nice guys.
guys know
We're
about
helping
them.
you out.
it's true.
It's just research.
That is true. We just say
That's
we're
true. We
investigating on
can
behalf
drop some
of,
names. Yeah.
On behalf of Dr. Bogus, we're checking something out for him. Yeah, that's easy enough. Let's go down to the water station.
You guys are heading to the water station. He'll.
Mohan's
Can I-
shit his way
Can I
through
ask,
his champagne.
before they go to the well, can I have my conversation with
Sure.
Melvin?
Was there anything else we needed with steak there? Blizzard, dang it. You got me.
I got
That's just the big thing. It's like
He says,
keep an eye out.
if you can, I guess I will up security certainly. But if you could clear this problem up, it would help me a great deal in that.
Well, we'll probably be in town for a couple of days, looking into this.
You know, maybe I'll get lucky and this person will show up while you're still here.
Maybe we'll get lucky. He'll show up and drink the poison Kool-Aid.
We're gonna have a Jamestown incident. Okay.
With buddy.
We already had the Jamestown.
We did.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
guess so.
Roman soldier, sweet cheese. Alright, let's
Yeah.
go.
Let's take a field trip to the water plant.
Grimes, don't put your foot in anything.
How would I put my foot in something up your ass?
Grimes to Professor Bogus.
Grimes asks and immediately answers.
So kind of, I'd say we're back, like examining the cat, like to figure this out.
Doing similar kind of autopsy stuff and revealing very similar symptoms to the people.
Going back to our discussion last night when I first got into town, in regards to your water system, have any of the engineers gotten sick?
He says, I know of, personally, I've taken care of at least one.
At least one. Okay. That was. And did he survive? Did he?
Unfortunately not.
And how long?
He's gonna have like a
how,
1% mortality rate.
how long did it take before it took him?
And for the average person, it's been about, it depends on the person, but a week to 2 weeks from when they start showing strong symptoms.
How long does it take to start showing symptoms?
I couldn't tell you. We don't until they start showing symptoms, and we don't know that the people have it. There's no real way to tell until they start having these issues.
Unless the teeth grow in your stomach first. But that doesn't seem likely because it like grows. It would go up and it would like starts here. That's a good question.
I don't know, man. I just decided what this does.
I know.
Yes.
This is one of those like thinking about it like in a real way. It's like it's a D&D game.
I'm gonna pull out. I want to look in what's inside the cat's stomach if we can, because if we know, there's a lot more.
Getting at it looks like mostly like
Trash.
like scrap food probably.
Food. Okay.
I mean, there's some fluid. Could be water. This cat certainly didn't seem like it was like slurping warm milk from a saucer. It was probably
It's drinking whiskey straight from the bottle.
that's right.
How? Okay. Oh, kind of another weird question for you, Mel. If we wanted to inspect the water source and kind of do that, would we be able to?
We certainly could take samples. We have, I mean, pretty wide jurisdiction at the moment to figure out what's going on here. Everyone wants to help make that happen.
You'll excuse me. I'm gonna need to take a step outside.
Okay.
Real quick. I'm gonna step out and try to follow his directions to go catch up with them.
For the sake of brevity and the timing of TV shows and also RPGs, as you walk out of Blizzard's office, you see Bogus like double checking the sign and like turning and like spots you guys.
Yeah. All right.
We're headed to the water factory.
All right. Good. You. I know. Kind of out of character moment. Yes, we just talked about this, but I'm gonna just say this in character anyway. If you go to the fountain and you get caught, say you were sent by me. We have pretty good jurisdiction to double check this stuff out.
Sounds good.
Local hero and good Samaritan, Dr.
Dr.
Bogus.
Bogus. I mean, you could probably go with them right now if you wanted.
Could I?
It's close by, and you could be a part of the conversation at least. You don't expect them to need to be there for super long. And they gave you a lab coat, so you currently look like a doctor.
Currently, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right. Well, then never mind. I'm going with you guys. Shit.
With a lab coat and enough gumption, you can get a lot done.
And the group of you,
The lab coat, the long rubber gloves, and the goggles.
the group of you head in, and if you want, you kind of go up, and there's not like security really here. You can eventually get to the outside of it, and if you go up to the kind of heavy metal door, the door to your heart, and knock on it, that's a deep cut, and knock on it, then an engineer will come up to you and be like, it kind of opens, and you can see this guy who's also got his face wrapped up in a band, and he's like, "Can I help you?"
Hi, I'm Dr. Bogus.
Of course you are, Dr. Bogus.
I'm new here helping out the hospital. I just arrived last.
Oh, well, thanks for your help, I suppose.
Listen, my group of companions here and I would like to go and collect some samples of the water. We have a suspicion of that we'd like to check out.
Well, you're welcome to collect samples. Come on in. He kind of brings you back.
Do microscopes exist?
Yes, we have established
We've
this.
established
They're not high tech, but they
high end
do
or
exist.
as powerful as they are now, but you can look at some.
Do microscopes.
And brought you back. He brings you in here and he says that like, I can't imagine any of the water here is going to have anything wrong with it, but you're welcome to take some samples from this elaborate contraption that's part of the use of early age automatic water systems, and it looks like what one of those would look like. I did not do that research. Sorry about it. But there's a way you could take samples from that if you'd like to.
Can I do like not a weird science? Can I do like a science or electronics on this machine to kind of just look at it as a whole?
Go ahead and make an electronics for it.
You've had any of the folks who work here get sick?
You saw a couple people.
That's a 3 on the electronics.
Seems to be like it's a normally functioning pumping system, like it should do.
Can I make a notice for any like
Canisters
or like algae?
Skull
or,
and crossbone barrels set in the corner.
rats.
Go ahead and roll
A fiver.
a fiver. Nothing particularly out of place that you can see of that
I
sort.
don't see like a dead rat like laying in the water.
No,
Like,
nothing. A dead rat with a whole lot of teeth.
Yeah. And this comes from a underground well.
Underground source, yeah.
Would we be able to?
It's purified through again here in this system. Though.
Would we be able to see? Is there a way to get to the underground source?
He says, we've got some hatches to get down there, but it's pretty dangerous.
Yeah. I think we'd like to go.
Who normally has access to those hatches?
No one usually. I mean, we keep it locked up unless there's issues, and we'll go down and fix them.
When was the last time something like that happened?
It's been some time, a week at least. just some routine maintenance.
Shall we go look at this underground source?
I don't know. I'm not getting any, like, flags pulling me that way.
They won't go and roll me a notice.
Nah. This guy is sketchy as fuck. Fiver.
5.
It's a
Yeah,
4.
Niner.
4.
4s. So
Couple 5s, 4, 9.
everybody besides the 9 notices and doesn't notice what's been noticed and not noticed thus far. With a 9, though, your keen vampire ears, you kind of like feel like you hear something that sounds a bit off, and you kind of go up to one of the pipes and some feel like you swear something's off with this pipe. You hear a weird noise, and you kind of like, though these guys are talking, you just kind of like lean your ear up against it, and you swear for the life of you can hear like a slight echo of somebody humming going through the pipe that this water is funneling through.
Well, I reckon we should check out the source of this here.
It's the
Here's the
humming
thing.
from the hunter.
Yeah.
The humming you hear, the pipe that you hear resonating from, is not from the intake from this underground source. It's the pipe pointing towards the city that you hear this humming echoing from.
There's something in
Follow that pipe.
And with that, that's where we're going to stop this episode of Devils of the West. Next time, I guess they'll follow that pipe.
Follow the pipe!
Thank everybody for watching, and we will see you in the next one.